I get often asked, what actually does your work consist of as a mental coach when working together with athletes? And I want to share with you today 3 of the main reasons why athletes tend to joke or struggle. So stay tuned till the end of the video, as there might be some topics you are also struggling with. So one of the main reasons why athletes get in touch with me to get support on the mental side is perfectionism. Perfectionism. Okay. So perfectionism is definitely one of the key topics, reasons why athletes get in touch with me. And very often they tell me, well, I just have the feeling I'm not good enough, and it doesn't matter how often and how much I practice, I always have the feeling it's not enough. Or when playing a game, a match, they always compare themselves with others all the time. And this, of course, causes pain, emotional pain and mental pain. So the other one or the others are better than me. I'm just not enough. I'm not good enough. I will never reach my goals, and so on and so forth. And in case you are also struggling a little bit with that topic and you tend to be a perfectionist, I would like to tell you there is nothing like perfectionism. You can't be perfect. I mean, look at the sports world in general. You will always see some minor or major mistakes that he or she does. And especially when you hear the athlete maybe afterwards in a press conference or in an interview. And very often they say, well, actually it was a very good performance, but maybe, in that moment I could have done this or that even better. Or when you listen to someone like Rafael Nadal, once upon a time, he said when being asked, actually, I mean, you perform on such a high level. In general, how do you do that? And actually, his response was that he said something like, well, actually, there were only very few matches where I had the feeling I was playing really, really well. Yeah. So there's always something to improve. So in case you struggle with perfectionism, tell yourself perfectionism is an illusion. You can't be perfect and you can't avoid making mistakes. So perfectionism looks like this over time. So when you have a couple of days or weeks and you have practice time or you have competitions and you reflect on them, you give yourself maybe, let's say, a grade from 1 to 10, or do it in a percentage. So how good was my training session actually today, this morning? How good was I technically? How good was I mentally? How good was I tactically? And how good was I physically? You could even break this down and then give yourself a grade between 1 and 10. So 10 is excellence, 1 is bad or not good at all. And give yourself some grades, and then do this with every training, and this will give you great insight actually over how you improve over time also, and you will learn to reflect realistically. So that's something I would recommend. Give yourself some grades after every training and also after every competition or every game. The second point why athletes get in touch with me and want to work together with me is anxiety or fear. So number 2 is fear. Okay. And this is something very common. And I could imagine that you have experienced this yourself also as an athlete or at some time in sports, or maybe also in some other areas of life. This fear of maybe being not good enough, the fear of losing, the fear of rejection, the fear of winning even. Yeah? Sounds ridiculous, but it does exist actually. Maybe it rings a bell also with you. So we have so many sorts of fear. And this is a crucial point. So to overcome fear, we have various options actually. One option, of course, is, for example, we work with positive affirmations. But when working on fear only with a cognitive approach, from my point of view, this is comparable with, for example, when you have in your living room, you would have some mold on your walls and you would just get some paint, some colors and paint over the mold. But the mold is still there and at some point it will come through again. So this is a more tricky actually situation and an emotion also, where I personally would suggest that you work on the subconsciousness, because very often there's something hidden in the subconsciousness that needs to be looked at and eliminated. And for that you need some good instruments. If you're interested in finding out more about this, feel free to click on the Tidycare link in the video description and I can tell you a bit more about this, how I do this and how I handle this. But it's doable, it's not a problem, but you need a tool, you need a mental tool or a method that works on the subconsciousness. Once you've done that and you've worked on your fear and found out where it comes from, so what's the root for the fear, and have got rid of it, you should be able to get back to some peak performances. And the third and last one for today, why athletes actually get in touch with me, is the lack in confidence. So a lack in confidence or self-confidence. This is also a big topic in sports, of course. I'm sure you know about this yourself. And I hope you are not struggling with self-confidence, but it's a very common topic. And also with this topic is something quite often actually is something hidden in the subconsciousness. So our brain has like saved a bad experience maybe, or a pattern that is manipulating us when we need confidence, and especially in sports we need self-confidence. We can't afford to have a lack in self-confidence, because we need to be, we need to have a high self-esteem and we need to be absolutely confident if we want to reach a peak performance. So a lack in confidence very often also results from some bad experience in the past. And quite often it's similar to fear, it's also hidden somewhere in the subconsciousness. And very often, and this is so interesting actually, these three topics that I just mentioned, so perfectionism, then fear and lacking confidence, very often they are connected with each other. So if you manage to get rid of one of these, so let's say the root of the whole problem, you should actually feel a big difference in yourself, in your mindset, and should be able to perform on a very high level. So if you would like to find out more about how you could overcome your fear, lack in confidence, or your perfectionism, and you have no idea what to do, feel free to book a free call with me via the Tidycare link in the video description. It's absolutely free, and you can tell me a bit more about your current situation, and I can give you some ideas on how and what we could do. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. It was great to have you here. I hope to see you in one of my next videos. I wish you all the best now in your upcoming competitions and have a great one. Bye.